Ladies and gentlemen, we have now reached the 17th installment of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, as well as the 5th installment of Phase 3 of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. We are now with Thor Ragnarok. And, okay, I was thinking, okay, I had seen only one trailer, and they edited some stuff up and changed some stuff. But I went with this movie to finally went to see this movie with one of my old guidance counselors from MacArthur Middle School. Horrible place. But yeah, he was awesome. We went to see this movie. We were gonna get Solaris, but he couldn't join us he couldn't join us for the day. But yeah, when I saw the first trailer, wait, Thor's hair is getting destroyed? Okay, that's kind of interesting. Let's see how this goes. But there's just one major problem. I said it would be interesting, not it'd be gripping my chair seat exciting, because I know he's gonna live. Yeah, they already confirmed that, oh, he's gonna be in Infinity War, along with virtually every other character besides the villain, because, you know, with the exception of Loki, we pretty much can't have another villain. That would take too much time and effort. So, the movie starts out with Thor having been captured by a mysterious force, and he just starts talking about his past for the last several movies he's been in to a skeleton. That does not say you've lost your mind. In fact, when does this take place? Like, the timeline really started getting confusing for me, because, like, Guardians of the Galaxy 2, although it takes place in Phase 3, it takes place only a couple months after the first movie, yet Captain America Civil War takes place after Guardians of the Galaxy 2. Yeah, yeah, it's become a mess. I'm pretty sure they're going to construct a timeline explaining everything, or it will be up to the fans. So... So, anyways, he talks about the Infinity Stones because, you know, we need the MacGuffins involved. And he knows that sometimes you have to get captured in order to get a straight answer out of someone. Someone being in the instances of being Thor. The creature releases Thor from his cage, chained and dangling, and taunts him with the knowledge of Odin no longer being on Asgard, and also mentioning that Thor's absence has left it vulnerable. All while Thor is making jokes. Also, the rating... Okay, it's rated PG-13. Why is there so much cursing in this movie? Yeah, like, they say bitch, pissed off, I believe they said shit. In fact, there's even a mention where one character is revealed to use a ship just for a sex orgy. Oh god. Yeah, you would think... So, let's see if I get this straight. So, Hunchback of Notre Dame can get a G rating, but if it says the word Hellfire, then all of a sudden it's PG rated. But if Thor Ragnarok mentions orgies, hell, pissed off, destruction, and Armageddon, oh no, that's just PG-13. That's perfectly okay. So, yeah. So, yeah, Thor just makes joke after joke after joke after joke, and, like, even the guy was like, even this person who has nothing involved with the plot until, like, the very end just looks annoyed like, oh dear god, why can't I just kill this guy? Oh wait, that's right, I'm not really supposed to do anything for a while. So, he announces that Ragnarok is coming to Asgard by his hand. So, wait, he's the villain? I thought it was the person that just happens to look like a certain Disney character who I will mention later when we talk about her. And that all he has to do to achieve this is to join his crown with the eternal flame, which burns in Odin's treasure trove. So, Thor takes the cue to call his hammer, break out of his chains after multiple delays, and fight off the creature's minions before taking his crown as a trophy. When he tries to return to Asgard, that guy who was a guard for the portal doesn't respond. Instead, it's revealed he has a replacement named Scourge. Only notices Thor's call when one of the women he's trying to impress points it out. So, yeah, after he brings in a brutal decapitation of the creature that was chasing after him, because that apparently isn't warranting of a R rating, despite it guts flying all over the place. Though, it isn't blood like humans bleed, so that's perfectly alright. So after finally returning to Asgard for the first time in how many years? Like, it's been 2 years after the events of Sokovia. So yeah, I don't get this timeline. Thor is told by what's his face that the former guy Heimdall has been declared an enemy of the people and is on the run. Thor is unimpressed and goes to find Odin, finding him watching a play of the valiant death of Loki, all while laying around being pampered by various women. So, you're making fun of the dark world. Is that really what you're going for? Like, I get that movie actually kind of served no point because they don't at all mention it in Civil War. If they had mentioned it in Civil War, that would at least justify the events happening to justify the Sokovia Accords, at least to the government's mind. But they don't even mention that. They just say what happened in Captain America Winter Soldier, what happened in Avengers 1 and 2. Oh, by the way, there was these dark elves that wanted to take over the galaxy, the multiverse or something. But we're not talking about that. That's not really important to the story. Yeah, you kind of made the second movie in the trilogy of Thor really pointless. Oh, man. Okay, actually there is a point. Is to get Loki back into something, and because everyone wanted to see Loki again, because everyone loves Loki, and Thor just so he can go back to Earth to prepare for Ultron unknowingly. So, yeah. Thor eventually obviously sees through the Odin's deception and forces Loki to drop the charade and has Scourge transporting Loki to Earth to find the real Odin. However, with their arms folded and wearing disguises, though not by much, they realize that the retirement home, the old folks' home, has been destroyed. Oh god, they are pissed off. So, yeah, I was wondering, wait, why did you really put him in a retirement home? Like, that was the best place you can go? Like, why didn't you just kill him? Like, if the mother was still alive, okay, I could get why you didn't kill her because she's the only one that cared about you after everything you've done, but why didn't you just kill Odin? Like, he didn't know about what would happen later, so you can't make that up. And then at some point, some pass-byers, after they had taken a photo with Thor, because Thor is a celebrity, it's revealed that Jane Foster, you know, that woman who was played by Natalie Portman in Thor 1 and 2, and was mentioned in Avengers, yeah, she had broken up with Thor. Although Thor insists to them that it was a mutual dumping. You mean to tell me the woman that Thor felt this compassion and got more humbled are no longer dating? Okay, that's just weird. And then I find out that it might be replaced by a new love interest who's a Valkyrie. I'll get to that in a moment, but I was wondering, wait, then you kind of made Thor 1 somewhat pointless other than introducing Thor and Loki. If Jane Foster, like, we haven't seen Jane Foster since the second Thor movie. We never see her again. She never gets mentioned up until this precise moment. We don't know if she's still alive. She could be dead. She could be abducted by aliens. She could be kidnapped by Thanos. Okay, Thanos hasn't arrived on Earth yet, so we can't go with that. So, yeah, the fact that this is the first time we hear about Jane Foster, I was like, oh, what happened? Man, we haven't heard from her for a while. What happened? Oh, she broke up with him because Thor keeps leaving for adventure. Because he keeps leaving for, you know, trying to save the freaking world. Well, the multiverse. Yeah, let's go with the multiverse. And also, saying it was a, quote, mutual dumping, I know Thor is supposed to be not acquainted with Earth's customs to a major extent, but yeah, I'm surprised no one just looked at him like, so you broke up with, you dumped her? And she dumped you? Like, what? Like, I was expecting Loki to just hold a fist up to his mouth and, like, try to suppress a laugh like, wow, you did not have to say that. Wow, you should not have said that. And then a portal rips from the ground and Loki is snatched away, leaving an address card behind, which points Thor towards Beckler Street. Here, he finds Doctor Strange, repeating the exact same scene we saw in Doctor Strange's post-credits scene, which kind of weird. No, not because it's weird. No. It just kind of makes the post-credits scene a little pointless. Or was that a mid-credit scene? I don't remember, but yeah, like, if you're gonna just repeat the scene in Thor Ragnarok, why even have that in the scene? Couldn't you have just gotten the whole there should be no more wizards mentality? So, we finally meet Doctor Strange and Thor. Now we just need to see Tony Stark and Doctor Strange, and then we'll see how that works out, who insists on knowing why Loki has been brought back to Earth. Thor explains that they are simply there to find Odin while getting placidly drunk, somehow, and will immediately leave as soon as he's retrieved. Strange reveals that he knows of Odin's whereabouts, Norway, but notes that Odin has asked not to be disturbed. Nevertheless, he sends Thor and Loki, after Loki attempted to kill him, to him. Okay, I'm just gonna ask, how does... Okay, I know Doctor Strange knows Thor and Loki because of the TV stuff, but how does he know Odin? Like, I'm trying to wonder, like, how does he know who Odin is? In fact, here's what happened. I had found out, like, literally before I made this video, that the original plan was to have Odin be somewhere in the streets of New York as a hobo, which would have been very depressing. Instead, yeah. So Loki goes ahead and tries to kill Strange and then just gets sucked into the portal by Doctor Strange and be sent to Odin in Norway. And that's the last time you'll ever see Doctor Strange in this movie. Yeah, you would think he would be very integral to the plot since it was hyped up, but nope, he's just there for like, what, 6 minutes at best? Yeah, he's never shown up again. They don't even mention him again. And I was like, wow, you made this character that was awesome in the Doctor Strange movie basically be treated as an afterthought. You would think, like, with the threat of Thanos arriving, they would, like, mention that at least. Also, multiversal destruction. So, yeah. So, after finding Odin, who's just standing on top of a hill, on top of a cliff, and just gazing at the water, it's revealed that he has shaken off of Loki's spell, which I'm trying to wonder what the spell was exactly. Like, was it blocking his memory? They never say what the spell was. So, but he's revealed to be disappointed and dying. In his last moments, Odin makes a dark confession. Hela, the sister of Thor and Loki. Well, not really Loki, he's a step, I don't know. Like, Loki's adopted, whatever. Never knew that they had, and the goddess of death, will be released from her prison once he dies. She's far more powerful than her brothers and will grow stronger when she returns to the fires of Asgard. Odin tells his boys that he loves them one more time before transforming into energy and presumably dying going to Asgard to be reunited with his lost wife. Then Thor gets pissed off and and becomes enraged at Loki, blaming Odin for his death, as his life expectancy having been shortened during his time on Midgard, also known as Earth. But a black mass forms in the air and Hela emerges from her prison, and when we first see this woman, I was thinking, okay, throughout this entire movie, she walks, she talks, and she acts like a certain Disney character. Just paint her body green and you have Maleficent. Yeah, it's practically Maleficent. Everything she's doing is based off of Maleficent. I don't know how it's like in the comics, but yeah, she is basically Maleficent, just without the green skin color. It's just the movie version of Maleficent. Except that movie sucked. At least to a lot of people. I never watched it. And from what I've heard, it's an insult. And here's the thing. It was originally... But originally, Hela was supposed to be the original main villain for Thor: The Dark World, which would explain... which would say, yeah, that makes The Dark World kind of more pointless because you had this awesome idea. You could have made a duology, but no, you had to make a third movie, a trilogy out of it because... Yeah. Also, I was wondering, wait, if this is Hela and she's the okay, so I was looking up Norse mythology for this, saying that as in the comics and in Norse mythology, Hela is the illegitimate daughter of Loki. She was raised in the care of Asgard for a time until she was appointed as ruler of Hel and Niflheim by Odin. Okay, so... Yeah, and she's also the first female main antagonist for the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Originally, that was going to go to Iron Man 3, but Marvel was saying, we don't think boys would buy a girl doll, a girl action figure. Now I'm starting to get the feeling why Black Widow has not been made yet. So, yeah, every single second I looked at her, I was thinking, oh, that's Maleficent. Except, whereas Maleficent got pissed off over not being invited to a party, she wants to finish what she started when she was first around. Also, I gotta wonder, she doesn't seem to possess any of Odin's wife's traits, so... Here's the question I was wondering. They never say this in the movie. I'm trying to remember Odin's wife's name, but is she the mother, or did Odin play Zeus and decide to have sex with a woman and give birth to and created her? I mean, like, when he was younger, and that led to her being a half sister to Thor. They never really say it. They don't explain who her mother was. Is it the wife of Odin? Is it another woman that he loved at one point in his life? So, yeah, and also, like I said, she basically is Maleficent. The hat gives it away. So, she just needs to transform into a dragon, and the process will be complete. So, when she orders the brothers to kneel before her, she goes on the offensive and apparently seems to summon any sort of blade spear-based weapon from thin air in quick succession. Thor throws the mighty hammer towards her, but she easily catches it with one hand and completely destroys it. Yep, the scene that happened in New York was changed for Norway because they couldn't let Odin have this awesome, sad moment be disturbed by car sounds. So Loki panics and calls for Bifrost. However, during their transport, Hela intercepts them and forces both Thor and Loki out of the beam. She then turns her eyes towards Asgard, arriving via the Bifrost and killing what's-his-face and who it's immediately. She recruits Scourge before almost effortlessly crushing the entire Asgardian army, impaling soldiers and ships alike with her endless arsenal of swords, and spears, and finishing off Hogun, who gets a large spear sent through his chest. Also, the scene beforehand was funny because, because she was screaming out who she is, and they were like, "Who are you again?" And she just had to scream out, "I told you what my name was. Did you not even listen to what I said?" Well, now if the movie was a little self-aware of itself, you want to know what really would have been funny? They could have done a scene where he's like, if someone wanted to do a satire of basically criticizing the one big aspect of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, that besides Loki and Thanos, all the other villains kind of suck. Like, could you really think of one villain that isn't Loki, Thanos, Ultron, and maybe Zemo? Could you really think of any character that's kind of memorable? Yeah, so they could have went ahead and someone should do a satire. I believe how it should have ended would be perfect for doing it. Where she gives this big speech and then they ask, "Who are you?" And then she just wonders why they didn't hear her, and it's like, "Oh, you're a useless Marvel villain. You'll be dead by the end of this. We got a Marvel villain, everybody. She's gonna be dead by the end of this film." So, yeah. So after she takes the throne, because declaring yourself you'll be the leader, even though it makes no sense, because no one's going to follow you after you just committed massacre, destroys the mural of her father above it, revealing the original hidden behind it, and it is revealed that she had always been Odin's most powerful weapon in his efforts to create the mighty Asgardian Empire, and that only when her ambition outgrew his, did he imprison her. So she breaks into Odin's treasure trove, which reveals something. Remember how it was teased by Kevin, what's his last name, saying that there are 2 Infinity Gauntlets? Yeah, I was always suspicious about that, because I was wondering, wait, if that's an Infinity Gauntlet and Thanos has his own, how many Infinity Stones are there? Like, you mentioned there are 6. So, are there 12? And then she looks at the gauntlet and declares it a fake and then shoves it to the side. Okay, there are so many questions I was wondering from this scene. 1, if that was a fake, where did it come from? How did Odin not notice? Because he's not incredibly dumb. I mean, like, he fell for Loki's disguises, but still, he's the god of mischief. But I was wondering, wait, why does he not know what the gauntlet was? How did he not know it was fake? Okay, you're not gonna explain? Man. So, yeah, then she sees the casket of the ancient winters as weak, and then she sees the crown of Surtur's, whatever his name is, crown saying it was smaller than she thought. Then she sees the Tesseract and says, "Interesting," but declares the eternal flame the greatest of all. She smashes through the floor, revealing the mausoleum beneath it, filled with dead soldiers of the fallen Asgardian army, along with a giant wolf, which begs one major question. If the eternal flame could resurrect people, I'm just gonna ask this very specific question. Why in God's name did Odin not use it? I know he probably would say it'd be desecrating the dead, but if they were told protect Asgard, would they volunteer if he somehow contacted their spirits? Yeah, I was wondering that. So, after she had revived the fallen Asgardian soldiers from her time, along with the giant wolf, she notes that when Odin was king, she was his executioner, and now that she is queen, Scourge is her executioner. Oh, I see where they're going with them. Meanwhile, Imdel sneaks into the Bifrost Dome and steals the sword, rendering the Bifrost useless. It is revealed that Imdel has been slowly organizing a resistance against Hela. Without the sword, Hela cannot complete her conquest of all the realms, and she sends her new soldiers to hunt down this resistance. Okay, I just have one question. What the hell happened? And I know I'm not going in the way the movie went. It like takes it in two different stories, but how long has she been queen? She just got back, and already a resistant movement's forming. So we see Hindel going ahead kicking ass with the sword and rescuing people to form his resistance, which begs the question, why the fuck is there resistance so quickly? Yeah, I kept wondering that. Why is he still... How did a resistance form so fast? They can't have known the massacre until, like, probably a week after. Like, it's not like after the Empire in Star Wars formed, immediately a resistance formed. It just took several years. Like, there was a foundation for it, but they didn't just start building it up. They had to wait for the right timing, do all this and whatnot. So, Scourge... So, like, later on in the movie, Scourge has civilians rounded up to demand the location of the sword. When nobody would speak, Hela tells him to execute a randomly chosen woman. Though Scourge seems to be uncomfortable with this, just before he can do the deed, a civilian agrees to tell Hela what she wants to know rather than see an innocent put to death. Okay, I have one more question. If these people are in Asgard, did they get out? Considering what happens at the end, I'll get to that. So let's move on. Let's go back to Thor and the rest of the gang. Thor is deposited on an alien planet named Sakaar, covered in junk. There are portals from other places all over the sky where junk and debris from other worlds fall through to the surface, which would give humanity a hopeful future of getting rid of their trash without having to keep it. But sadly, that technology may never be invented by the time, certain aspects happen, just in case that happens. Thor is then approached by hostile scavengers, which he easily fights off with a hammer until one of them uses an electrified net to capture him. The scavengers proceed to beat Thor until a drunk woman appears from the ship claiming Thor to be hers, then prepares to make her entrance in an awesome way, and then drunkenly passes out into the garbage. Oh, I am so interested in this character, and here's the thing. I don't know if this is confirmed, but she might, just emphasis, might be Thor's new love interest. So, Jane Foster's out. Let's get rid of her. Like I said, okay, at least there's some connection you can make with Thor and Dark World, but in The Incredible Hulk, yeah, you can practically cut that movie out and nothing could change. You could have easily established that General Ross doesn't like, Secretary Ross as he's now called, doesn't like Banner for a variety of reasons, but they need to make a movie. But considering how everything in that movie doesn't really exist at this point, and everything's just kind of non-canon, and they had switched different actors, there's virtually no point. So, yeah. After the woman fights off the scavenger seemingly rescuing Thor, the woman throws a small disc at his neck, and this allows her to electrocute and render him unconscious. Twice. With the disc connecting to his neck, preventing him from escaping, the woman takes him to the planet's supreme ruler after a hilarious scream he committed, even though it's revealed that he wasn't even going anywhere. He just... they never explain how that happened. The Grandmaster, played by everyone's favorite actor, Jeff Goldblum. Okay, everything Jeff Goldblum does in this movie is just so over the top that part of me also felt, and I don't mean to offend anybody, it kind of came across off to me like a stereotypical homosexual and move portrayed in media. I don't know why. Like 90s version. It just felt, what? So, yeah, after the Grandmaster pardons a no-name character from life, he melts him to death, much to Thor's disgust. And I don't mean like disgust like, oh my god, you killed that guy. More like, oh my god, he smells. And the Grandmaster, being the supreme leader, is apparently not wanting to get his clothing wet. Thor finally sees Loki, who apparently has been here for weeks, due to the unusual relativistic effects of how they got here, and he has somehow earned the Grandmaster's favor, and the Grandmaster pays the woman for Thor and tells him that he can have his freedom if he defeats the arena's champion. Okay, I'm just wondering. When I had heard Jeff Goldblum was going to be in this movie, I was like, well, there goes the whole Grandmaster being this powerful presence. In fact, I originally thought he was going to be like the real main antagonist. He's just a planet supreme dictator who is apparently not even taking this seriously because what happens in the post-credit scene. So Thor is thrown into the gladiator's quarters, which is a complete dump. He meets Korg, an exiled Korean resistance fighter, and his friend Milik. He just states that no one has ever beaten or escaped the champion, and Thor is prepared to fight this man, but then also sees Loki's spectral powers, and Thor just throws rocks at him while Loki tries to offer him a way out by, say, kill the Grandmaster through an accident. But, okay. Yeah, when the appearance of the champion is revealed, which I'll get into in a minute, also, Thor, as he prepares himself to fight this woman, fight the champion, Thor tries to talk to this woman, who he realizes is an Asgardian Valkyrie, this is a possible love interest for Thor. Honestly, I was thinking Loki was going to be the love interest, but that's a completely different theory. Thor gets taken, and he gets his hair cut, much to his dismay and screaming pleasured, by someone strangely familiar. He gets cut by Stan Lee! Also known as the Watcher Informant. And, okay, I didn't go into this when I talked about Guardians of the Galaxy 2, but I do have an idea of what they could do with the Watcher Informant. So, moving on. When the Asgardian Valkyrie is unsympathetic to the plight of her homeland, he calls her a coward and being forced to fight to go out to fight. And the champion is revealed to be the Hulk. Thor screams out from the trailer saying, "Yes!" much to Loki's horrible dismay. We also revealed that he betted a lot on the champion against Thor. So, brotherly love, everybody. So, Thor screams out, "He's a friend from work! He's a friend from work! We work together!" So he tries to try and talk to the Hulk and negotiate with him, but he makes the horrible mistake of calling him Banner. He even tries Black Widow's calming technique, but it fails to work, probably because he's not Black Widow. Therefore, Hulk cannot be aroused by Black Widow for some reason. Hulk overpowers him during the battle and is close to killing him, but Thor sees a vision of his father causing him to embrace the dark side of power, such as becoming Raiden from Mortal Kombat. Yeah. So, as the fight continues, the tables have turned and Thor is winning, and much to the interest of the audience. But the Grandmaster, unwilling to see Hulk lose since he is a fan favorite, cheats and fixes the fight by activating the disc on Thor's neck. A bruised Thor awakens in the luxurious quarters with Hulk. Hulk refuses to return to Earth because he believes he is hated there and therefore will not leave. Well, when he learns that Ross has been in power for 2 years as Secretary of State, or at least after the Battle of New York, or Sokovia. They never give an explanation of what happened. They never say when he became Secretary of State, but considering he has a lot of favor with the president, I'm pretty certain Hulk has every right to not go back there. Because the mortal enemy, who also is the daughter of the guy he originally wanted to have sex with, or at least date, is never seen again, so clearly there's no reason to continue this. Also, he is shown to be friends and sparring partners with Valkyrie, but agrees to trick her into coming into his quarters so Thor can steal her control device and remove the disc from his neck, after getting hit in the head by a ball. Yeah. Yeah, he tries to give a big speech about how she should fight with him and fight against the whole oppressive dictatorship of Hela, whatever her name is. I'll just call her Maleficent, Thor's Maleficent. Or Marvel's Maleficent. So yeah, after hilarity ensues when he hits himself with the ball because he did not think that part through, Thor and Hulk actually got into a fight where Thor calls him the stupid Avenger, and okay, Thor, you're kind of being stupid here. Like, you do realize Hulk is based off of anger, right? Also, during the Gladiator fight, we finally got the long-awaited sequel to the Loki bashing. You know, when Hulk was just confused with Loki's demands, saying, "I am God," and whatnot. Hulk just grabs Loki's leg and just thrashes him around repeatedly to the point now that's a joke on the internet. Well, they made a sequel to that with Thor, much to Loki's enjoyment, and say, "Now you know how it feels! Back in New York!" Also, here's another thing. After Thor tries to get to the Quinjet that brought Hulk to Sakaar, I'm just wondering, how in God's name did that get there? Like, there has never been an established scene where it was said that Hulk's ship encountered a portal. As a matter of fact, I didn't think that would be possible. Yeah, I've been trying to wonder, how did Hulk get from Earth to wherever in God's name Sakaar was? Was it a planet? Was it, I don't know, a planet or a military thing? Yeah, they never give an explanation. And I've been trying my damnedest to find out why. And I even looked on the Marvel Cinematic Universe Wiki page. Even they don't know. So, yeah. So, after Thor tries to get to the Quinjet that brought Hulk to Sakaar, but Hulk destroys it, not wanting to leave, and Thor didn't even say he could come with him. He said he had a choice. It is only when Thor accidentally activates a recording of Natasha, aka Black Widow's attempts to get Hulk to turn the Quinjet around that Hulk is pacified and transforms back to Bruce Banner. Banner has been in Hulk form since Sokovia, and as a result, Hulk has completely taken over. Because of this, Banner was powerless and does not remember anything that had happened for the last 2 years. He fears that if he becomes the Hulk again, Banner will be gone forever. Yeah, so basically they're hinting that Banner might die, and Hulk will only remain. Yeah, also we get a, quote, bromance between Thor and Hulk. And, yeah. The Grandmaster orders Valkyrie and Hulk and Loki to track Thor and Hulk. He doesn't know who Bruce Banner is. Valkyrie finds him but agrees to help, having knocked out Loki after he made her see a vision of herself and her sisters falling at Hela's hands millennia ago when she was the only survivor, which caused her to turn to drink in misery on Sakaar. Loki, not wanting to be stuck on Sakaar, tells Thor that he has the Grandmaster's security codes, which could give him control over the systems. And also, okay. Heimdall has told Thor that they need to go through the largest portal in the sky because Thor somehow has the ability to kind of subconsciously teleport himself back to Asgard. Which begs the question, why don't they just have an ability to teleport? And I'm trying to wonder why this was never established beforehand until just now. They revealed that the portal in the sky, they call it the devil's anus. I have no comments on it. Like, how on God's name did this get approved for PG-13 rating? Oh, man. Yeah. So, they plan to go to the Devil's Anus to escape, but Valkyrie's ship is not up to the job. They break Korg and Miek out so they can begin a slave revolt as a distraction so they can steal the Grandmaster's personal ship. Loki has a meaningful moment with Thor, and Loki inevitably betrays them as they are escaping, but Thor quietly placed one of the discs on his back, leaving him being shocked on the floor. Thor tells his brother that he knows Loki will always be the god of mischief, but he had hoped that he would have shown some capacity for growth before leaving, with Loki still being shocked and the remote intentionally left out of reach. I see no problems with this. 10 minutes later, Korrigan arrives with a group of slaves and turns off the device later. Loki takes leadership of the group and steals a large ship with them. So, after Thor and a huge awesome chase scene happen, after they try to get to Asgard, so like when they finally arrive to Asgard after an epic chase scene, Hela begins an assault on the fortress where Heimdall is hiding the Asgardian civilians, but Thor calls her back to the throne to fight because pounded the ground with the scepter. Banner and Valkyrie fight to help the civilians escape via the Bifrost, but they are caught off from behind by the undead army and in front by the enormous wolf. And then, during this epic confrontation of epic proportions, despite knowing he may never turn back, Banner reveals that he's going to transform into the Hulk, jumps off the ship, and while the wolf is skating to the crowd of people, oh god, that was the most hilarious scene in the movie. Banner just crashes on the ground looking dead. Yeah, and like everyone was like, was something supposed to happen? In fact, even the wolf looked like he pitied Banner for that epic fail. Like, he was like, oh, you know what? Fuck it, I'm not gonna kill you. Yeah, that was absolutely pathetic. Much to his unfortunate regret, as Banner finally transforms into the Hulk seconds later to fight off the wolf, and Loki arrives with the resistance pretty much, saying your hero has arrived. Thor is overpowered by Hela, who strikes him across the face, cutting out his right eye. And this is what I was wondering. Wait. So we can see tons of characters get stabbed, pierced, shot, no blood comes out. But Thor losing his eye with blood being shown, it's apparently not worthy of an R rating. That's perfectly fine. That's perfectly PG-13. But massive amounts of blood for stabbings, piercing, decapitation. Oh no, that's evil. That is what scars children. Even though it's something we all have, so are we going to start banning blood from the world? Because we kind of need blood to live. So, yeah, she is too much for him, and once again, Thor has a vision of his father. He tells him that Asgard is not a place, but it is people. Thor states that he cannot defeat Hela without the hammer, but Odin reminds Thor that he is not a god of hammers, and that only the hammer was ever a focus up for his powers, and they are greater than Odin's. With his powers in full force, Thor transforms into the mighty Raiden, god of thunder. Thor manages to resist Hela and cars through her army, but he realizes that she is still too much for him. Yeah, after massacring a whole bunch of undead soldiers and kicking ass with the entire group, and also, oh man, also that guy, the guard who no one cares about to an extent, actually, gets an arc for himself. Like, he decides to help the people of Asgard, much to his death. He dies. Yeah. So, yeah. He's dead after saving people's lives. Yeah, also, he has sneaked aboard in disguise. I think he was trying to disguise himself as a woman, but failed miserably. He turns on her and defeats the rest of her soldiers before she kills him. Yeah, it would have actually been interesting if, he survived, but as we know, we got established some artificial tension that people are going to die, even though we know that most of these guys are going to survive. So, yeah, yeah, also, as he and Thor and Loki agree that as long as Asgard still exists, she will grow more powerful. The prophecy states that in order for Ragnarok to happen, Asgard must fall, and it is their place to ensure it, not to stop it. Thor and Valkyrie hold her off while Loki goes to the trophy room to retrieve the crown. Noticing the Tesseract along the way, and most likely stealing it, he places it in the fires of Asgard, or the eternal flames, and the Surtur is reborn. The now much more powerful Surtur begins laying waste to Asgard, and even Hel is unable to stop him. She tries to stop the ship carrying the Asgardian refugees and the Sicarian slaves from leaving, but Sigurd, who has, like I said, sneaked aboard in disguise, turns on her and defeats the rest of her soldiers before she kills him. And Thor and Hulk, being an idiot, decides to attack Surtur, but Thor calls him off. Much to Hulk's dismay, he carries Thor and Valkyrie aboard the ship by jumping really high, which escapes Asgard as it is leaving utterly destroyed, leaving only behind asteroids. And again, this leads to the second funniest scene where Korg says that it can be rebuilt so long as the foundation still remains. And then immediately blows up, and he says, never mind, it's not even a foundation anymore. Let's call it a day, everybody. And Thor asks the one question he should wonder. What have I done? And no one answers for him. Like, okay, I'm just going to ask this question. Why is this called Ragnarok? Other than being the end of Asgard, the place? So, like, I'm wondering, wait, but Ragnarok wasn't even in for the majority of the movie. They just mention it from the beginning and mention it at the end. And then it finally happens. So, anyways, Thor, wearing an eye patch like his father before him, is crowned king and decides that they should set course for Earth to rebuild Asgard. Perhaps in Norway, as Odin suggested. Okay. So they prepare to leave, take the ship, go to Earth, and all seems well. Also, the Tesseract might have been stolen by Loki, but, and considering that it's going to be in the Infinity War, we know that's most likely the case. So we get two credit scenes. One is a mid-credit scene where Loki asks Thor whether he will be welcome on Earth after, Avengers 1, and Thor assures him he will be. Thor is then confident in saying that everything will be fine. And I was like, oh, okay, we're getting to the, look out, ironic humor, where a giant ship appears behind them, much to their shock and horror. So, let's see. No one knows what this ship is, but I'm pretty sure I know what it is. It's Thanos. It's Thanos' ship. It's kind of obvious that that's Thanos. So, yeah, that's clearly obviously Thanos' ship. In fact, that actually explains why Thor crashed into the Guardians' ship supposedly at least, in the Infinity War trailer that was said to be shown at Comic-Con and another convention. And they said that the one scene that started at the beginning was Thor crashing into the Guardians of the Galaxy ship. So, yeah, is all the Asgardians dead? Except for Loki, Banner, aka Hulk, and Valkyrie, the Valkyrie woman, are also Heimdall. Like they said, he's going to be in the next move in Infinity War. So, yeah. So is the rest of the entire Asgardian people dead? Also, I would love for people to react like, wait, if the Asgardians come to Earth, don't that mean a drain to more of our resources? Like, we're already struggling enough as it is. In fact, we got imbeciles in political power, and they're trying their best to play children mode. but I'm not going to go into political commentary. In a second post-credit scene after the end of the credits, the Grandmaster is faced down by the slaves he had previously been master of, and just makes jokes saying, like, this revolt could not have been possible if you did not have a guy to overthrow. Thus, I declare this revolt a draw. And they do not look happy with that. In fact, I'm pretty certain. Well, in fact, I was wondering when we would see the scene where they might as well have said, blow him to hell. And they just fire the guns at him, the Grandmaster's dead. Because I do not see the Grandmaster ever showing up again. Like, at all. I'm pretty certain he could probably come back, but yeah, I'm pretty certain he's dead. Like, I do not see him coming back somehow. Okay, so is he? So I'm pretty certain, he's dead. Like, this is what he says before he's probably dead. I just gotta say, I'm proud of you all. The revolution has been a huge success. Yay, yes. Pat on the back. Pat on the back. Go on, no? Me too, because I've been a big part of it. Because can't have a revolution without somebody to overthrow. So, you're welcome, and, it's a tie. That was actually funny. That was actually pretty funny. But I'm wondering, is the Grandmaster dead? Because also, I did love the part where he says, slaves is such a harsh word. I prefer prisoners with jobs. Because, yeah. Also, that person he killed, it was his cousin named Carlo. They don't explain what was the high treason, but they did say he attempted to escape because we need to establish something that makes him evil. So, yeah, also, Jeff Goldblum revealed on an interview that the Grandmaster was born shortly after the Big Bang and is 14 million years old. However, the Big Bang really occurred 13.7 billion years ago. Okay, that might have been, yeah, that might have been accident. He might have accidentally had said that, but he might be right on that. So, anyways. So, yeah. Also, it's revealed in the comics that Grandmaster, along with the Collector, is one of the Elders of the universe. In a competition with the cosmic entity Death, he captured various heroes from Earth and forced them to fight against each other, yada yada yada. He was also the custodian of the Mind Stone before Thanos took it for the Infinity Gauntlet. This happened in the comics. It's not part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So, overall, what were my thoughts on this movie? I loved it. It's probably the best of the Thor trilogy. But I did get a little annoyed with the humor from time to time because it felt like, can we just take a serious moment and be a little serious here? Like, even the destruction of Asgard, the home of the Asgardians, they make a joke. Granted, it's with people who were not born there. They were born off another world, but still, they kind of made a joke and say, yeah, there is no coming back from that. So, yeah. And I was just laughing at certain, like I said, the jokes kind of got annoying, but at least they got some things right, and especially the return of, of Stan Lee. Though I am curious as to know, wait, will he be in Infinity War? They haven't confirmed that yet. He probably will be killed right before that. So, also, Thor had asked, this, Meek, that pet of his, Thor asked Meek where is he from, and then Korg says this, oh, Meek's dead. Yeah, I accidentally stomped him in on the bridge. I just feel so guilty. I've been carrying him around all day. And then he just comes back and says, oh, Meek, you're alive. He's alive, guys. What was your question again? And Thor just says, Earth it is then. So, you couldn't even kill a pet. Oh my god. With the exception of Hela, most likely, unless Thanos somehow brings her back from the dead, and maybe Bruce Banner, provided Black Widow can't return him, virtually no one died. Yeah, no one died. With the exception of Hela and maybe Bruce Banner, the original host, and Cousin Carlo in a gruesome, torturous death. Yeah, we never ever hear from these guys ever again. These guys are all alright. They are perfectly fine. They just lost Asgard, but oh, don't worry, all of them survived. Also, they formed a team called the Revengers because they had nothing. They couldn't come up with a cool name saying that, well, we're getting revenge, except for the Hulk. He's undecided yet. What was he getting revenge for? Like Thor, the Valkyrie girl, and Loki I could get, but why does Hulk want revenge? Or Banner? I mean, we don't even know how the hell they got to the planet. To Sakaar. So, yeah, with the exception of Hela, maybe the Grandmaster, and the Banner side of the Hulk, yeah, and Cousin Carlo, may he rest in peace, no one died. Virtually none of the main characters practically died. So, yeah. Also, I don't know how this works, but I don't think the governments of the world are just going to blindly say, oh, well, yeah, the law's yeah, you can move Asgard to Norway. We're going to be perfectly alright with that. You hear us? We're perfectly alright with that. Yeah, there's a lot of complications, like political stuff, the Sokovia Accords, the fact that Secretary of State of Ross kind of sees you as more of a weapon than a person, like Thor, like Hulk. So, yeah, I'm pretty certain that a lot of people that are in this movie, like the slave resistance, the Grandmaster, and most of Asgard's citizens, they're all gonna die by Thanos' hands. And the only survivors are Valkyrie, the Hulk, the Heimdall, the Loki, and Thor. They're the only guaranteed survivors. Also, Doctor Strange, he was only in there for 10 minutes, and I was wondering, wait. How much time is, like, I guess 2 years between Age of Ultron and what happened, and what happens in Thor Ragnarok, but how long has Doctor Strange been, Doctor Strange? Because I'm trying to wonder how he was able to warp reality to such an extent quickly that Thor didn't notice until after it had happened. I'm just trying to wonder that. So I'm just wondering. I'm just wondering what the hell happened. So, yeah. So, yeah, and also we never got a reason why Odin wanted to stay on Earth. Okay, I looked it up. It's only been several months into his time at the New York Sanctum's Guardian. Or at least as the New York Sanctum's Guardian. So, how did he make such progress in that short amount of time? Oh man. But yeah, I really did enjoy this movie. It was a lot of fun. It was just crazy, mindless fun for me. Black Panther is next, and then afterwards we'll get Infinity War, the war to end all multiversal wars. And now I wanted to talk about Stan Lee's character as the Watcher Informant. I was wondering something. Would they make the Watcher Informant character a possible future villain for the Avengers to fight? Because I said this in the Avengers on the thoughts on the production of the Infinity War movie, and the subsequent second Avengers movie after Infinity War, who would they be able to top Thanos with? How do you top Thanos? It's hard to. So clearly, the only person that could probably be perfect for the job is Stan Lee, the Watcher informant. He has been around all these characters. He knows what they do. He knows their faults, their whatnot. He's basically seen everything. He's basically us, the audience, who's seen everything with his own eyes. They could turn the Watcher informant into a villain. They could make him a villain, and like with his knowledge, he'd be able to easily defeat the Avengers, and they're gonna have to regroup and try to think of something else how to defeat him. So, yeah, that's my best guess they could do, and it's gonna be awesome when Black Panther. Though of course I had questions about the trailer of why it's so Kanye West like. Like I even questioned why it was in the Assassin's Creed trailer, because I thought that was perfect for Assassin's Creed. It's almost like making a medieval fantasy movie and putting dubstep in the trailer. Oh wait, they actually did that with World of Warcraft. No, never mind. So it's going to be interesting what's going to happen for the next two movies between Black Panther and Infinity War, when we'll see Thor and the rest of the gang of the Revengers. So it is going to be awesome. And honestly, I hope we get some form of closure other than just getting mentioned of, yeah, we can't, Jane Foster's gone. We just cut her out from the movie because, yeah, they never gave a reason. Like, they never explained why Natalie Portman didn't want to come back. They never said what the reason was. So, this movie, like I said, was awesome. Really hoping what's going to happen in Avengers 3 and Avengers 4, Infinity War, and whatever the fourth Avengers movie is going to be called. And I really do hope, if they do this, make Stan Lee's character, the Watcher Informant, be revealed as this ultimate bad guy who knows everything about the Avengers, because he's basically been spying on them the whole time. And he prepares to his own plan to conquer the galaxy, the multiverse. But whereas Thanos doesn't even know who the hell the Avengers are, other than just what he believes are a nuisance, Stan Lee does know who they are. So he has the advantage over them, other than Thanos, who will just probably rip out Vision's head. So, like I said, this is going to be interesting for the next couple of months. I cannot wait. So, those were my thoughts on Marvel's Thor Ragnarok. This was Neo Reality Entertainment. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and donate. Stay tuned for more.